Warning, this podcast contains minor spoilers for a bunch of projects from the MCU, including lots of stuff from Phase 4 and lots of theories for Phases 5, 6, and beyond.
We got my Batman on screen. Now, there are very many versions of Batman, and none of them is wrong unless he's holding a gun. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. But to get angsty...
Damn you, Frank Miller!
I hate Batman with a gun. Why is it there?
How dare you?
It's so stupid.
Something I was thinking about for this past phase and for the new phase is the connectivity issue, where we saw from the snap and the blip, and that came through in many other of the new films and even the TV series, and in great ways, WandaVision, and really seeing a very visceral moment of that blip back, and it really connected us through in that through line. Something that you mentioned about the Celestial sitting out there in the ocean, and I feel like that was a real big missed opportunity.
Where is it? Who
just
is
bring it
talking
up, just
about
one
it?
line in there somewhere to mention it. It can be comic, it can be visceral, it can be something. And are we going to see a return to that connectivity? I know COVID probably messed up some timelines and some release dates, so maybe they wanted to shy away from that. But are we going to get that connectivity back?
She-Hulk did it, but you would have expected more.
Yeah,
right?
in She-Hulk, there's a blink and you'll miss it moment on a computer screen where they're like, what's up with the big Eternal? What's up with the big frozen man? But it's not a verbal thing. And I think connectivity, even though I loved the varied eclecticness of this phase, the connectivity is a big issue because think about Moon Knight. I don't think there's any mention of the blip. I don't think there's any mention of anything apart from like a bus that goes in the background that's connected to the group in Falcon and the Winter Soldier who are maybe trying to rehouse people after the blip. I think that COVID, you probably called it. Because also I don't think all those things were supposed to come out at the same time. You know, it kind of messed up the outline. I think they know that is the thing that got fans hooked. The thing like Joelle mentioned, you know, this, there's some weird hammer in this desert in Arizona.
It's such a pure comics thing, too.
It's why people love comics. So I definitely think that will be a large part of Phase 5 going forward. And just little things like there's easy ways to do it, you know, there's easy ways to build in Easter eggs and jokes and nods to the world that makes it feel like one thing. And I think for fans, that's a really big thing. So my gut would say Phase 5 is going to lean back into that in a serious way.
We have to revisit it. I look forward to meeting the human cult that formed underneath this guy. I feel like there's no way a group of humans didn't go, oh, that's the future, or a god, or something. We got to go like worship that thing. Like, what's happening?
Is it going to become an Avengers headquarters? Like, please, it's in the comics.
This is a great place for the Fantastic Four to be like, let's go do our science over here. Like, what is this? Where did it come from? What does it mean? Like, there's too many questions that we have around it for the universe not to, hopefully sooner rather than later, address it. Because it is a giant, like, it's
literally a giant man in the ocean.
A giant, like, what does this mean that there are extraterrestrials terraforming our planet? And does that make, again, going back to the Sokovia Accords and how people are going to react to mutants, how much more unsafe do we feel knowing that was put here and that literally the Earth almost got destroyed? And I don't know if people have made that, conclusion yet, but to some extent, again, like, we're going to have to go down there. Also, did it fuck with Atlanteans? Like, I need to know, were they like, what the hell?
Yeah, the Telekinesis were like, excuse me.
Yeah, what is this? In that vein, I think that Secret Invasion is going to be an important project because I think it's going to ramp up the paranoia of the people of Earth, the population of Earth, who've been through multiple invasions now.
These people were Skrulls, weren't they meant to be protecting us?
And we knew that aliens were coming, but now they're already here, and they're potentially like the president or like the Secretary of Defense or whoever.
Probably the new head of the FBI or the CIA or whoever, Valerie.
Contessa is like potentially like a Skrull. Like, so I think that
Contessa
is going to be.
Got to be a human. I'll be so mad if she's a Skrull because she just is like a perfect embodiment of the American government.
Yeah. Who's the Skrull? Because there's got to be one right now who's a Skrull.
Oh, the president, because they got what's his face? Why can't I think of his name?
Well, I think that the big casting they did recently was recasting Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross. So that, to me, says he's probably going to be a Skrull. Because otherwise, I would have been like, just let him be dead. Or just have Red... Also, your Your scroll theory that you brought up on the podcast is my favorite one, which is Maria Hill. Because I think that is such a safe bet for them. I'm always a fan of the Hawkeye as a scroll theory because I hate Hawkeye. Not Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop is great. You know, I love Kate Bishop. But I was always saying like Jeremy Renner is a scroll, but I don't know. You know, Feige's spoken a lot about it being a small scale story, which I think kind of helps them avoid the connectivity issue. Yep. Oh, it's intimate. It's a spy story. It's this. So I don't know if they're going to go big with the scrolls. So I think it's more likely that it's these high in power in government people who are going to be the scrolls rather than, say, you know, Spider-Man.
They have to give us one or two, like, folks we've been following where we're
I got one more. No! I got one more. Kingpin.
Oh! Kingpin would make so much sense. Now. And why he didn't die. Oh! Wow. I love that. Dermot Mulroney, who you might know as Russell from New Girl, but he's been a bunch of stuff. He's playing the president.
Oh my goodness. He's definitely a scroll.
Yeah. You don't get Dermot Mulroney and not turn him into an alien. What?
I seen him. That's a man who looks like he's playing a scroll.
So what I'm wondering is, we're talking about, we just had phase 4, we're looking at 5 and 6. What do you think will not show up? What do you think is maybe too weird or too much of a push for them that they just can't fit it in?
I don't think we're getting the X-Men.
Yeah,
We kind of already talked about.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. I'm trying to think of like who does it feel like they might be teeing up, but there's a slim chance they actually show up.
You know what? This is going to make me feel sad because I don't want this to be true. But I don't think we're going to see Galactus and the Silver Surfer until like we get to the X-Men era.
I'm okay with that.
No, I love Galactus and I love the Silver Surfer. I think I heard rumors they were going to do a Silver Surfer special presentation, which I think makes a lot of sense.
On the floor.
Like a Norrin Rad, but I think that when the Fantastic Four come in, which is going to be in this phase 5 and 6, I think we'll get Doom. I think that's going to be your big focus. Ooh. You do the big Doom. So you stay away from the more cosmic aspects and you just focus on that main villain.
It's one of the last major secret societies that we have to uncover is like Doom and his people. It makes sense that before the end of phase 6 we get Doom. Also, Doom has so much stuff going on with Wakanda and now the Talcon's kind of involved.
Namor, Doom, T'Challa, that's like a trio, you know. So
I'm ready for it.
I just need a heartfelt "you dare" from whoever they cast.
Where would you like to see Doom introduced? Like whose movie, what heroes?
I think there is a version. I believe that there's a version of Wakanda Forever that was meant to have a second stinger that would have been Doom. I think that would have been the original version of Wakanda Forever before we lost Chadwick, tragically.
I would have loved that. That would make sense too, because Doom's now terrified that like all these other societies have come out.
And I think like you can have this idea that Doom is the Machiavellian puppet master, but I love the way they did it. But I'm not really sure where Doom will show up. I mean, I still think that where Moon Knight was Latveria in the show when he went to the place. It looked directly like a drawing from a Fantastic Four comic. But yeah, Jason, where would you want Doom to show up? Because I think that's a big question going forward.
Somewhere in our conflicts with Kang over the next phase, I think we will. That seems to me like the most obvious place to introduce it.
I love that.
I love a Doom Doctor Strange team up.
Yeah. Oh, that's one of the best.
Well, that would make a lot of sense with Doctor Strange and Clea now being out there in the kind of universe, in the multiverse. That's not going to be hard for them to join that to the quantum realm. And yeah, I mean, we didn't even really get into that, but I think you're right. Kang, the connection to Reed and Reed's family, it would make a lot of sense to have Kang and Doom. It would actually be pretty cool to introduce both those major villains before you even got to ever meet the Fantastic Four.
I think there's a world, too, where, we've been talking a lot about the most recent Secret Wars in which, Doom kind of recreates... God Emperor Doom recreates his version of the universe that he controls. This is absolutely like a crackpot theory, but
the best kind.
But there's also a world, I think, where you're right, where Doom already exists. They introduce him before the Fantastic Four, and the MCU that we're seeing right now is the universe controlled by Doom.
Oh, I love that. I hope they do that. That's
Whoa.
really great.
Whoa.
Well, it would also, that gives you a lot of great narrative get-outs. Why don't things feel as connected anymore? Why did Phase 4 feel so different? Oh, it's because there's this one person controlling it who's making all these different things happen at the same time to get to this. I love that.
Anyone else?
You didn't say a name that I think is very important to say when you speak of the Secret Wars, and especially because they recently brought him back in the Defenders, the Beyonder.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think that's where they're going. Because you were talking about how they see
Yeah.
it in the comics, yeah. So
The Beyonder would be amazing. I mean, we were talking about, I think when we were really deep in it's been a year of theories, right? Because of there's been so much stuff on the TV. Look, I know you're all sick of hearing it. I apologize for Mephisto. That was my fault. I'm sorry about it, okay? I wish I could take back the damage that I have done. I'm sorry. But because of that, we have talked so much. We were all about the Beyonder. I think it was when No Way Home was coming out, and we were like, who is behind this crazy, like, multiverse thing that's happening at the end where all these universes are coming together? We hadn't seen the movie, we were theorizing. And the Beyonder was one of our go-to touch points. I think that is bang on, and I think that is the weirdness that we can expect.
Give us a quick download on the Beyonder for those not versed in the
I'm like-
original Secret Wars. Our kind of parachute pant wearing, mullet, perm.
No, you're the
super
Beyonder. Go for
omniscient.
it. Go for it.
Yeah, he's a very, very bored,
This guy is bored.
omniscient super being who becomes fixated on Earth, and as this kind of gathering point for incredible heroes that have numerous times staved off not just threats to their own world, but threats to the galaxy, threats to the universe, and he becomes enamored with them, and he decides to know more about Earth people, and so he takes the form of like a human with like a perm mullet and
Styly.
a white 80s
I hope they keep
tracksuit.
the mullet.
Yeah, and he just decides, I'm gonna gather up all the superheroes, I'm gonna make them fight, which. Great idea. Honestly.
Okay. What about this? That is absolutely the truth. And what if you did? So look, I love the Beyonder. I think they don't do enough like weird human alter egos for these characters. I would love to see that. What if they did like a Kumite special presentation and it's just the Beyonder getting like low-level heroes that we've met in like She-Hulk and stuff to fight? Because they're never going to let us do it with the main heroes. But what if the Beyonder, like the first
Let's be careful because I
finds-
want that to be the next Shang. Let's be careful because I want that to be the next Shang-Chi movie.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That's a
would be
great call, actually.
Incredible.
Well, imagine if the
Iron Fist behind.
Exactly, we get Danny Rand gets brought in, they beat up that Danny Rand, and then we learn who the real Iron Fist warrior is. Obviously,
Perfect.
it's Colleen. We've already seen her. That we know who it is. Or, the many Iron Fists that they obviously introduced in Shang-Chi, but just didn't say they were Iron Fists. No, I love that idea. Imagine if the Beyonder in Shang-Chi 2, if he, Shang-Chi 2 Kumite, if he's just like a fight promoter who's like, I heard about these underground fight rings, and you learn that that's what it is, and that could lead to Secret Wars, because we also don't actually know what's going to lead there, and I think that's the funniest thing. So I think the Beyonder is a massive, that's going to be the weirdness we do get in 5 and 6, and also I think that could also, we could see him sooner in Quantum Realm. I think that is a name we could start to hear almost like Thanos before we hear. But yeah, Shang-Chi, Kumite, I dream of that.
Love it.
Anyone else? Any other questions?
Okay, so Dorian, founder of Geeks of Color, has asked
Icon.
us, what do we think about the tweet that occurred from a fan account that is Ms. Minutes that then interacted with, who did it interact with?
So it was a Miss Minutes
Deadpool.
account that interacted with Deadpool, and people were like, okay, does this mean Deadpool's going to be in Loki too?
But interacted with Ryan's direct account,
Yeah,
right?
and it was like the official like Deadpool. There was a lot of, it became a very big like, oh, this feels like, Ryan Reynolds' social media is never a coincidence.
Never.
Those are choices.
The very casual. We just threw together a Deadpool trailer. Look at this.
Well, I will say
that is. It's all according
Yeah.
to a very specific plan.
The one thing that we didn't talk about that I think is very key to what's going forward is Deadpool as a tool to basically connect and destroy the Fox universe. So I would not be surprised if Loki with the TVA. I mean, I just thought of this the other day after seeing that tweet, but I was like, what if the TVA just hired Deadpool to kill all of the people in the Fox universe?
I am undone. Oh my God.
They were like, we don't have enough people. We don't have enough TVA guards.
Oh my God.
We just, and that's your R-rated Deadpool movie. And Deadpool kills the Fox universe, because they don't have enough people to cut all the streams anymore, So I was like, I think it could happen. More likely, what's it going to be? Probably going to be like a Deadpool mask on one of the TVA, desks. But that's
I like your idea
And
because
that's honestly so good.
Right? I'm like, finally, just hire me. I'll write it.
they're so good at like montages too in the Deadpool universe, and like I could just imagine like Beast dying, devastating. But when he gets to the Phoenix, like how does Deadpool take out the Phoenix? Like that would just be fun. And
also they would
like you have to get so creative.
Deadpool with the Phoenix Force. Like also,
Oh my
can
God.
I just say?
Oh, that would be the
Look,
Jesus Christ.
Please,
God, no.
I'm saying, look, do you know who would be really, really useful if you were trying to kill a bunch of really powerful mutants? Wolverine, who Deadpool's going to be in this third, the R-rated movie with.
How do you get Wolverine to go along with killing all of his ex-pals?
So just be like, oh, the fate of the universe depends
Well, I mean,
on
like,
it.
you do it every way they always do it, which is you trick them into killing everybody.
These are not
Like,
real.
you make them hallucinate.
These are actually, they're actually people sent here to kill Laura Kinney. You better just kill them all.
It works every single time.
Sorry,
he
those
goes
are
through
your
all of his
friends.
friends.
Oh my
Sorry
word.
about that, bro. The road trip, the R-rated road trip movie no one is expecting. It's just them just murdering everyone. But I think that, I don't think it's ever a coincidence. I think they're very on top of all that. And even if it was just fun, they want people to talk about it. They want people to ask about it and talk about it on stuff like this, because that's what makes people excited. It's the same way with a comic. We used to finish the comic and you knew the next one wasn't coming out till the next week, and you're talking to your friends, oh, what's going to happen? Who's it going to be? And that's just what we do now with these movies,
Well, I think the cool thing about Deadpool, and you kind of hit on a really fun thing about him that they do in the comics, which is he's essentially, his healing factor makes him basically immortal.
Yeah.
You could have him survive, the collapse of the multiverses, like he's still alive somehow. You could have, how would he fight
He's
Phoenix?
just chilling, eating
He'd
a
have like
taco.
infinite chances to fight Phoenix because
He can't fly.
freaking kill
It's
him.
just one movie.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
him
like-
trying to kill the
There's like
Phoenix
a piece
Force.
of his skull left, like he's still going
Yeah.
somehow. So I think that there are a lot of interesting implications once they bring Deadpool into the universe. I hope he never gets the Phoenix Force. Jesus Christ.
Don't make it happen, guys. I'm sorry, I jinxed it.
Are there any other questions?
As in Prince T'Challa.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. I believe there is something about the MCU. I won't get into the political ramifications of the strange heteronormativity that they're obsessed with at the moment, but they're loving to make people parents. Mm-hmm. And in the comics, the kids are not often direct legacy heroes, but that seems to be where they're going with this. Thor has a kid now. Wanda's kids, obviously. Jeremy Renner has kids. We now see that as in the comics he's called Azari, but in the movie,
Scott's kids.
Scott's got kids and we know that Cassie's gonna be Stinger in the next movie. So I think that absolutely we're gonna get another time jump. We're gonna see that kid, and I think so. There was this. There's like a movie that I go back to a lot ever since the Thor's daughter was introduced, called Next Avengers. And that was about all the kids of the Avengers. It was like an animated movie. You'd think they would never draw from that. But it's literally about all these kids of the Avengers. I think that we are going to see many different teams. And I think we might get that next Avengers team before our more classical young Avengers, which for some reason they are just holding off of. And nobody knows why.
I hope they don't recast. Here's why. I think it's really interesting. We have so many like tweens to like young adults right now
so you'd
available
love to
to
see
us.
him be like
10.
10.
They found the cutest kid don't fuck it up. Just keep it. Like he's
that.
adorable. If he can act, you have time to train him to do all the action stuff. Like
in Next Avengers as well, they are all like 10. So I think you could have that combination of the older team and the younger team. And
totally.
he is very cute.
Yeah, and I like the variety of ages because I think what we're getting for Marvel now is like. Before it was like, here are all the popular genres that appeal to the most people and will apply it across our cinematic landscape. Now, I feel like we're like, how niche can we go? And what can we give to like children, young adults, older people? Like, I feel like there's space enough that, we could get a movie that's for like grade school kids.
I do actually think that the introduction of Love, Thor's daughter, she is like 7 and she's like this omnipotent, superpowered kind of god. There's no reason that if Azari took a version of the heart-shaped herb or had a super suit that he couldn't be a small part of a team. Let's be real, in comics, kids have always been strange sidekicks in a very irresponsible way. Robin,
yes.
Batman, he adopts 1,000 children and just turns them into his little like bodyguards. So I like that. I like that read. I would like to see it. I like the idea that we could maybe see non-animated superhero content for actual kids. And again, could be in an academy, some kind of Avengers Academy or Strange Academy or something.
Give
cool
them a
like
special.
that.
I'm here for it.
Well, as we come to a close, not just for this panel, but for the year, the
R.I.P. to the
interminable,
longest year.
everlasting year 2022.
It's so long.
I know. Let's. I'd love to hear from the panel what their favorite thing from 2022 was. Joelle, you want to start?
I'm starting with you.
Okay, no pressure. It's 2 things. Okay, but I'll make them quick. Game of Thrones is back, y'all. How lucky are we? I missed Sunday appointment television. I missed Deep Theory Corner with my friends. I missed like falling out of a chair. Every burst scene, I stood up and walked away and then came back and then walked away and then screamed and then texted my parents. I'm like, are you watching? Do you see what's happening? I love this like level of TV where it's like you have to wait and you're going to be engaging online. I miss going to Twitter and just talking to people, like reacting as things are happening, and it brought it back for me in a really great way.
I never imagined it would have like 2 of the best female lead
fair.
characters.
For both versions.
Yes.
Like,
I was not sure how I would feel about it when it came back, but Rhaenyra, that duo of Rhaenyra and Alicent and the 2 people, and then the fact that the actors who play them are so charming. I'm so invested, and I will follow them anywhere, even throughout the bits of the show where I'm like, like you said, like, what was your second one?
Of course, I've forgotten now, but no, here it is. We got My Batman on screen. Now, there are very many versions of Batman, and none of them is wrong unless he's holding a gun. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. But to get angsty.
Damn you, Frank Miller.
I hate Batman with a gun. Why is
How
it there?
dare you?
It's so stupid. But I love angsty. I'm not quite sure what's happening, but I'm gonna try really, really hard. But I'm still kind of stupid.
That movie is so good
because I haven't been doing this for long enough to actually be a detective. I mean, it's literally what would happen if a billionaire decided he was gonna be a detective. He would fuck up a lot. He would not know how to conduct himself.
He would stack into a train bridge and hit on the floor with his parachute. Yeah.
But the hits felt good. I loved the sort of militarized costuming that had nothing really to do with like a military industrial complex, but it just felt like. It felt like proper gear, and I love that he's just awkward around Catwoman. Like all of it really worked for me.
Robert Pattinson was so great.
And they made Gotham an actual city that you felt alive again on screen. And as much as I love seeing my city, Chicago, play for Gotham, I think Gotham needs to feel unique, and for them to be like, okay, we'll take a little bit of New York, a little bit of Pittsburgh, a little bit of Chicago.
It needs to feel almost cartoony. That's like the version that we want. You know?
So I really loved it. I'm excited for the Penguin series next year. I'm not holding out I'm not holding my breath for it, but it could be great. I don't know.
Colin Farrell was really good.
He was so good, and so I want more of this. I wish we could have Batgirl, but I'll take what I can get.
Rosie,
that was gonna be my I remember that this year has been 12 months long answer because I couldn't believe the Batman came out. But seeing as you said it, and it was great. My favorite thing of 2022. I'm sure there's lots of other ones that I'm forgetting, but this one is very recent, so recency bias. I was lucky enough to watch all of Willow, the new series. Apart from the finale. But I would say I love the movie. It was one of my favorite movies. My incredible friend Io actually made me a shirt of Willow because I love it so much. The new series is so cute. It has Erin Kellyman from Star Wars and the MCU, who's always getting terribly underwritten parts that don't do her justice, and she gets a brilliant role in this. Warwick Davis just does the best, exactly what you wanted Warwick Davis performance. It's really cozy, it's cute fantasy. So that's one of my favorite things from 2022. And the first 2 episodes are out now, and you can watch the original movie, which is like super weird and scary.
Mine is House of the Dragon. I think I'm just gonna.
Shocked.
I have to. Contractually, I have to say, it was just great to get back in the world, and the fact that the conversation was back, and how soapy, and again, as a lover of mess, the mess was there,
messy.
baby.
Yes.
But George R. R. Martin released another project this year,
Yeah, he
and
did.
it's Elden Ring. And I think that's my favorite thing of 2022. Elden Ring had a grip on my life.
In a chokehold.
An absolute chokehold, rear naked chokehold.
Violence.
Jason,
For a
75 hours in.
For like hours and hours and hours and weeks and weeks and weeks. It had just, I just love walking around in a world and exploring it and discovering enemies to fight and different hidden secrets. And that, Breath of the Wild gave that to me, and Elden Ring was the first game since Breath of the Wild to really feel like, holy shit,
I love Breath of the Wild.
is a
So
massive continent. It's a massive world. The game was absolutely bullshit for a lot of the time I was playing it. Like, you're just like running from everything, but beautiful, incredible, mysterious, a sense of adventure. I absolutely loved it.
Yay.
And that's it. And thank you all. We love you for
for
attending this live taping of the
listening
X-Ray
to the
Vision
show
Pod.
and-
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Enjoy your Comic-Con.